Hello and welcome to new member tutorial number 2. Today we're going to talk about how to take your research to the next level by using reviews to learn more about casting directors who teach workshops. So if you have not watched new member tutorial video number 1 on setting goals, creating a target list, and using the schedule function of our site, please go back there now and watch that first. So we're going to take a more in-depth look at one of the casting directors on my target list now. So let's take a look at Kendra Castleberry first. So what we're going to do is we'll go to the reviews and look at the casting directors section. And I will just type in part or all of her name and search. So there are 3 Kendras here. I want to learn more about Kendra Castleberry, so I'll click here. So the first thing I see is a photo, which is great. If you haven't been in to meet Kendra and you're going in for an audition, you know which person in the office is Kendra. We can also take a look at some information on her profile. I see that she has a very high review rating, so 8 actors have been to workshops with her and written a review on the site, and actors generally are loving her workshops. So that's a great sign if you're wanting to go in and learn from Kendra. So let's take a look at some of the reviews. It looks like we have some good information here, including that there is a very short notice for auditions right now. 4 to 24 hours. That's great information. This actor didn't love that there was no real way to contact Kendra, so that's a good hint to you before going into a workshop to make sure during the workshop you get clear on whether to follow up with her after the workshop or whether she prefers that you don't, and exactly how to follow up after a workshop. One of the other features of our reviews, so we include whether the review met your whether the workshop met your expectations, the quality of the feedback and the information that was provided at the workshop, the casting director's attitude towards actors as you perceived it, the punctuality of the casting director, and the workshop length, whether the length was good for you, whatever that means for you. The other thing we include is what the workshop outcome was. And this person says not yet, so they haven't been called in, but they are optimistic that Kendra might be open to that. And also shows where they met the casting director. This actor says that Kendra said she doesn't understand actors who workshop with her more than twice a year. That's great information. That tells you that Kendra only needs to see you a couple times and she's going to remember you. A lot of casting directors feel that way, so you can find other appropriate ways to maintain relationships with them and not waste your money workshopping with them 3 or 4 times a year. So as you can see, we have some great reviews that are jam-packed with valuable information, not only as you're preparing for workshops, but also as you're preparing for auditions. All of the feedback on our site isn't as wonderful as Kendra's reviews. Granted, most of the feedback about casting directors and workshops is positive. It's what we found as an overall trend, but there are some reviews that indicate that there's room for improvement. So let's take a look at those. So this video is public, and so we are not showing the casting director's name, but this actor tells us that the workshop was really long, tells us that the scenes were super intense, and that the feedback was very direct. So a lot of actors may really appreciate direct feedback. In fact, I do. So it's just good to know what to expect as you're going into a workshop. That will help you make your choices before workshops and even help you prepare for auditions, as I mentioned earlier. Now let's take a look back at the site. You can also use our directory of casting directors and their reviews to help you target people. So say I'm really focused on commercials right now and I just want a list of the casting directors in town that do commercials. So one research tool is casting about, but you can also use our site to kind of get a general idea of who out there is casting commercials. So this means that these casting directors have as one of the mediums that they cast commercials. We also show the casting director's IMDb profile so that you can do more research there. Let's say I want to look at voiceover and get more into voiceover. So I can see that we've got 28 results of people who, as part of their resume, have cast voiceover projects. So that is it for this tutorial video. I hope that helps you understand how better to use casting director reviews to make good decisions as you are spending your hard-earned workshop cash. Tune in for our next video tutorial in a couple of days on how to use reviews to compare workshop studios. Thanks a lot!